I live downtown, so I can tell you for certain I'm an eyewitness. Adirondack Thunder are packing the arena these days. When I look out from the rectory windows on game night for like a whole hour before the game, the crosswalks look like Manhattan at Christmas. It's just unbelievable, the number of people. We have to be mindful of it all the time. Our Thanksgiving Mass on Wednesday has to be at 5:15 because there's a game at 7. And we have to avoid it because of the snarl that would be. And I will tell you that when I got here 3 years ago, when I arrived in town back in 2021, the crowds were not like that. And there's a very simple reason why that is. It's because now they're winning. Sometimes I find myself thinking how interesting it is what draws people. Hockey games draw people more than masses do. Isn't that interesting? I don't even say that with judgment, just with curiosity. What is it about a puck being slapped on the ice that is more interesting to us than bread and wine turning into God right in front of us and then getting to consume God in our bodies? Isn't that interesting that slapping the puck on the ice is more crowd-pleasing to people? I think the reason why that is summed up in what Jesus said in the gospel. My kingdom is not of this world. It's not here. If my kingdom were here, things would be different. But people are not focused on me in this world. If Jesus' kingdom was of this world, we would have to have Mass in the arena that seats 5,000. And the hockey games would be played in this lovely parking lot out here with people standing around to watch. I think we notice that his kingdom is not of this world, especially when we think about getting old and dying. Many people are just so afraid of dying, and I think it's because his kingdom is so unfamiliar. You know, it's like we don't even know what to make of it. What do you think it's like, we ask each other? Is it like, like a really great championship hockey game with unlimited concessions? Is that what it's like? What could it possibly be like? Do you get like a toga and a harp and you play on a cloud forever? Is that what it is? But Jesus is trying to help us see we have to start focusing a little more on the kingdom that he is sovereign of, because we have to prepare for what's coming. He is not someone who wants us to be fans like a hockey team. Jesus doesn't want fans. He wants followers. He wants people who are committed to doing what he did on earth and making his actions and his instructions for us the center of our life. He's asking us to follow him. Not like in a Facebook or a Instagram way. He doesn't want subscribers. He wants people who are committed. That's what Christ the King is celebrating. We're celebrating that we don't want to be his fans. We don't want to be his admirers. We want to submit our lives to him because we know that he alone knows the way. And that's why I'm going to use Eucharistic Prayer 3 today. It's one I don't use very often. But it says, Lord, we are the people you have summoned here before you. And I think that's perfect for Christ the King. You summoned us here. We are your subjects. We are reporting for duty. We're trying to be your disciples, not just your fans. If we're going to follow him, then we have to stick with him even when he's having a losing season. We can't be like fans who are only there at the hockey games when it's a good season. And we know that even his greatest followers struggled with that. On Good Friday, his apostles were like, whoa, I don't want to go anywhere near that. They actually wanted better treatment than the king had. They looked at how the king was getting treated and they said, I can't be treated like that. I got to get out of here. And that is what we'll always be tempted to do. Sticking with him means we don't go anywhere. We're with him through it all. Sticking with him means we know that things could get worse before they get better. We're not expecting things to go well in order to maintain our commitment to him. We're maintaining our commitment to him first as a priority. We're calling him the King of the universe, so we're sticking with him. A lot of our society doesn't really get a sense of what a faith journey feels like. A lot of us mistakenly equate faith with belief, with believing in God. Oh no, he had faith, she had faith, we'll say. They believed in God. One of my favorite parts of being a priest is getting to work with families at the time of a loss. Funerals are one of the most important things that I do, and I really am honored to do them, and I love them. And I love meeting with families and learning about the lives of the people who've gone before us, learning what made their life so special, so unique, how God used it to make the world better. And sometimes when I'm sitting with a family, we're talking about someone's wonderful personality and what they cared about, and so many things will come up. You know, they'll say, oh, the Yankees. He was all about the Yankees, or she was all about the Mets. And then they'll say, oh, and she sure loved the salad bar at the Log Jam. Oh, did I mention the Racino? Oh my gosh, how she loved the Racino. And it's all wonderful stuff. No judgment on any of that at all. It's great. But sometimes faith doesn't come up. And then so I'll bring it up. I'll say, tell me about your dad's faith or your mom's faith. And sometimes they'll answer like this. Oh, well, you know, Dad definitely believed in God. I mean, whoa, she believed in God. That's for sure. That's for sure. And I think we can hear that there's something there. There's something beautiful to that. But that's not the same thing as a faith journey. Oh no, big fan of God. This whole family, we're all in the fan club. All of us, especially at Christmas. Boy, do we love cheering for God at Christmas. That's not what we're talking about on the Feast of Christ the King. That's a different thing entirely. That is not what it's like to really be following, to be subjects who were summoned here by the King. What it does look like is often hard to talk about, and I'm reluctant to share this story with you because it's a harsh one, but it's a real one, and I don't know if there's a better story to be able to make this point. It's several years old now, and it goes back to a parish that I was in a long time ago, actually. It was my first parish. But somebody that I became friends with in that parish called me, and I was away. I was actually out of state. But I got a call with just terrible news, and I just want to warn you, it's a PG kind of news story. It was that one of the moms in our parish who had 3 kids, who I knew well, felt close to, went to her house for dinner. I learned that she had been fatally shot in a small town in upstate New York that had never known this kind of thing before. So that first bit of news was so shocking. And the second was just as bad, that the person who did it was her husband, and then he fatally shot himself, leaving 3 kids, one a senior, one a sophomore, and one in 5th grade. Just grotesque. And then in the message, the woman said this. I still have the message, I'll never forget it. All we know right now, she said, is that it's real, and that it happened, and that God still reigns over all, no matter what. That's how she responded to Good Friday. It's real, it happened, and God still reigns over all, no matter what. That's a very different thing than being a fan of Christ, of being someone who admires what he taught. That's someone who's sticking with him, even on Good Friday. Because Good Friday, to be Good Friday, isn't just annoying or disappointing. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's the thing that's so bad you might not have even known to be worried about it. I wasn't even worried that that would happen in my parish. It wasn't something that was on my list of things to fret about. It was worse than the worst. And in the worst of the worst, she said, I'm sticking with the king. So this week we're being asked, what does it look like for us to stick with the king? How would it affect us if we were deeply following? Not a fan in any way, but a deep follower. How would it affect our relationship with money, with politics, with our hobbies? How would it change the way we approach getting older and getting closer to death? How can we imagine our faith as more than just believing in God, but really allowing God to shape our lives, to direct them, to tell us where to go? Because the question on Christ the King Sunday is, to whom do we belong? And to whom do we ultimately pledge our allegiance?